This video is proudly sponsored by Newtype. Tools, accessories, model kits, these guys have it. Hop over to newtypeshq.com and use promo code Otaku for 10% off on your next purchase. Hey, what's going on, dudes and dudettes? Welcome back to another exciting build from the good folks from Bandai, Japan. So why don't we get things started with the 1/100 scale Master Grade Freedom Gundam version 2.0 from the anime series Gundam Seed Destiny. And without further ado, let's get to it. Welcome back, my dudes and dudettes, and thank you so much for coming back to watch another video. I do hope you're all being safe and taking care of one another. Now, in this particular build, I want to tackle another rebuild of the Freedom Gundam. Now, back in 2015, I did build a Master Grade Freedom Gundam, which I did enjoy, and then after doing the airbrush tutorial on this SD Gundam, I thought to myself, you know what? Why not revisit this guy once again? Because Lord and behold, I absolutely love this box art to a T. It is beautiful, it is nicely illustrated, and more importantly, I wish they actually made this into a proper poster, but only time will tell when they'll actually do that. So what you can see on the first side of the box art, you get some really gnarly dynamic poses as well as exposed movable areas around the main thrusters, double jointed hinges on the elbow, knees, and the shoulder blades. But most importantly, you actually get an action base with this particular mobile suit, which is great for the value you get it for, which is under $50. And on the final side of the box art, you get the front, side, back, as well as a brief description on how to really pull off that really cool dynamic poses to make this guy look really, really cool. Now, enough about that. What's inside the box? So, the moment you open up the... Wait a second. Where's the instruction manual? I know it's in here. I paid good money for it. Where is my instruction manual? I can't build this Master Grade without my instruction manual. Ah, here it is. The instruction manual, greeting you with all of its awesome glory of the Freedom Gundam. So the moment you open it up, you're going to get a brief rundown of other Master Grades that are also available to purchase for the Gundam Seed library, as well as a brief rundown of what you can expect to do droid transfers, as well as an understanding of what comes with runners and an action base. But most importantly, you get a brief history and story background on how the Freedom Gundam was constructed, who was the pilot, as well as a beautiful spread of the color chart to pull off some awesome custom painting for this mobile suit, as well as a good rundown on how to utilize the action base to its fullest potential. And on the second to last page gives you a beautiful rundown of how to manipulate and use the backpack unit's weapon features, as well as how to properly use the action base to pull off even more dynamic poses, and last and finally a diagram to apply the sticker decals. Now, I've said this over and over again, I'll say it again, I have actually worked with sticker decals for quite some time, but I just don't like the look and feel it gives the Gundam when you apply a flat coat or semi-gloss coat onto the surface. It just looks really, really funny, but I gotta give this mobile suit credit because it actually introduces you to dry transfers, and I think that's nice. But for this particular build, I'm going to be using some custom decals that I purchased off of eBay for like around 10 to 15 bucks, depending on where you get it from. And I've heard nothing but good things from this particular manufacturer, and I look forward to using it on this particular mobile suit. And last and finally, the runners, the meat and potatoes of this particular build. Now, this one's quite unique because there's not a lot of red runners and there's not a lot of yellow runners, but there is an adequate amount of clear pieces for the eyes, camera module, and the scope for the beam magnum, as well as two little figurines that pilot the mobile suit. Next up, you get more white pieces for the mobile suit, but most importantly, you get these beautiful medium blue pieces for the backpack unit, as well as two beam sabers to pull off some really cool dynamic poses. And last and finally, you get a handful of gray pieces, which are going to be primarily for the inner frame, as well as an action base to boost. Now, I've had my complaints with the action base in the past, but with this particular build, it's not going to be an issue because it's not dealing with more additional weight like you would expect for like the Thunderbolt Gundam. So I think it's quite nice that they actually try to include some kind of action base. And last and finally, you get a nice range of sea blue pieces to complete the backpack unit. Now, normally when I build model kits, I usually have a system tackling the arms, legs, all at once, but this particular build, since there's only a small amount of red and yellow pieces, I'm going to get those done out of the way But most importantly, I need to work on the eyes, because since these are very small pieces, I need to find a way to really paint the actual eyes correctly without spilling too much of the black paint. So this method, what I'm basically doing is using some Tamiya masking tape to really superimpose the eyes, so that way when I use an X-Acto blade, I can cut around the eyes and leaving the back part exposed without painting over the eyes with a brush. This method works a lot more better because you tend to get all the areas that you miss with a traditional paintbrush, and at the same time make things look really stellar.
people go through high streets we know. Dark and light, day and night. No one knows what the future will bring. All or nothing. Gotta mean something when you're misunderstood. God I wish to be me.
Alright, my dudes and dudettes, as this video is wrapping up, I want to share with you guys my thoughts and impressions about this model kits. Without really going into too much detail and specifics about it, just going to focus on the key areas that can be problematic, while focusing on areas that can be actually fun to build. So let's get into it, shall we? So first and foremost, let's talk about the one area that can definitely be a problem, and that is the groin area. So the moment I posted on YouTube that I was going to be getting started on building this kit, I got hit with a lot of warnings and recommendations to keep an eye out for the groin area, because it's designed differently compared to other mobile suits that just basically have two ball joint areas that just interconnect in the hip and then you're done. This one has like a swivel, like interchanging like arm system underneath it, which allows you to pull off really cool dynamic poses, but one wrong twist, one wrong bend, and you end up breaking that piece altogether. Now that didn't happen to me, but I noticed when I was starting to manipulate the legs to pull off some really cool dynamic poses, you can really feel the tension when you move the leg up and then slightly back. And when you really take the time to look underneath it, you can see it's actually causing stress to those plastic pieces. So that's one thing you should really keep in mind when you're building this model kit, is just don't go too crazy when it comes to posing it, because you're actually going to put it at risk of breaking that area. Another area which is very, very minor is trying to make the mobile suit stand upright with its really heavy backpack unit. Now, there is a reason why Bandai included an action base for this mobile suit, so that way you don't have to worry about that. I get that. But for someone like me that just doesn't want to boggle with that, I would like to have it stationary, and you can't really do that. You can find ways to, reposition the wings in a way where it doesn't distribute the weight too much in the back. But over time, the action base is a welcome accessory for this mobile suit. Now, I'm pretty sure a lot of you dudes and dudettes are asking yourself, is this kit really worth the purchase for 50 bucks? Oh yeah, most definitely it's worth it, because it was just really exciting to build it again. I mean, this is my third attempt. I'm counting the L.E.D Gundam as number 2, and having to rebuild it after 5 years later was really refreshing, because I didn't know how to build the kit correctly. I used an X-Acto blade to cut the runners out. I made an attempt to use a sticker decals, but I didn't put them on them correctly, didn't flush correctly onto the plastic, and Lord knows I didn't even bother dealing with the dry transfers, because they are just really confusing to put onto the surface. And at that time, there wasn't really a lot of good tutorials out there how to use dry transfers, so I didn't even bother just putting it on the mobile suit. I just left them alone. But 5 years later, learning what I'm learning, and still growing and learning new things, this kit was just great to build again. And I'm rather shocked that Bandai hasn't made a perfect grade. We technically got that with the Strike Freedom Gundam, and I'm okay with that. I truly am okay with that. But it would be nice to see a revisit of this mobile suit, maybe like a version 3, but finally a perfect grade size. So that way you can cater to the hardcore fans and possibly new people who want to get into building Gundam. The kit's overall great. It's a great experience. It's definitely affordable, which I absolutely love. And you can build this kit in less than a day. If you do custom painting, you can get it done in less than a week. And that was the one thing I told myself when I built this kit and worked on this video, is I don't want to rush it. I just want to be really immersed in this build and enjoy it step by step. And like that, my dudes and dudettes, we are done with this build, and I want to personally say thank you guys so much for watching this video, and a big thank you for the new subscribers and new followers that came in at the beginning at the end of the month. You guys are incredible, and a big thank you for everyone who has liked and shared my videos in the last 3 months. You guys have been absolutely incredible, and I can't tell you how grateful I am for you guys putting that extra work out there. But as always, please be safe and look out for each other, and I will see you dudes and dudettes on the next video. Later.